Welcome back to the third class. This class is wonderful because it lets you know what we also heard about this if you watch the adult classes here on addiction is to be around like-minded people. When you decide I've had it, I've got to do something. I've got to get out of this. I've got to get out of this emotion that I'm trapped in that I can't get out of. And you're around like-minded people. When you're around like-minded people and you're talking to them, you're sharing what you've been through. And all of a sudden what's happening here is you're not alone anymore. You're not isolated. You're talking with other people, go, you've been through that? Man, I've been through more. And then you laugh and share that. And when you laugh, that humor and laughter together creates a connection. You're around where you do your recovery, and I don't want to know about that.
Right.
It's not important. But when you do there, you tell the stories. Everybody starts laughing when you tell the stories.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've
all done the same stuff, just in different ways. They can all relate, to doing crazy things that seem like a good idea when you're drunk or when you're high, There's all kinds of stuff I did, and I'm not alone. That's why I'm able to laugh and not sit and be like, oh, man, I suck, There's no point to any of this anymore. I got a whole room full of people who are just as sick as me, just as messed up, and are okay today.
I have to laugh. I have to laugh at myself.
You have to. Explain.
I have to.
Tell
If
me
you
why.
don't let that out, you get high. I mean, that's just my experience. If I don't say what I'm thinking or what I'm thinking about doing, it stirs. It stirs. And I start to answer my own questions. I become delusional. I start to, convince myself that this is like the right thing to do.
Think about it. When I was on my own, when I was out, my solution to dealing with my emotions and my feelings was to get high. Very, very, very high, and do whatever it took. I robbed places. I did all kinds of stuff. I did all kinds of stuff to get high. And so if I don't open up to people and can laugh at myself for my crazy thoughts and not be afraid that they're going to judge me for it and can accept their solution, I'll be all right.
So I was living in the Utah desert. I got shipped out there. It was a rehab program that I did. I was blindfolded, put into this van, taken out in the desert, and I lived out there for 90 days. And I was pissed. I was mad. I didn't want to do any of the stuff that, was asked of me. And I had pretty long hair at the time. My hair is naturally curly, and it was probably down to like my belly button. And they make you wash your hair and like comb through it and condition it as well as possible. And I refused to do that. I was like, I'm not washing my hair. I'm gonna dread it. I'm gonna show you guys like I'm a badass. I'm gonna wear some dreads. Whatever. I don't know what I was thinking. And they kept telling me that I gotta wash my hair, and I kept telling them to F off. And one day, 3 staff members came out with a pair of scissors, and they said, "We're gonna cut your hair off." And I said, "No, you are not." And I just like darted, and I just ran. I didn't know where I was. I was in the desert. There was like sagebrush all over. I didn't know where I was. They finally got me. They pinned me down on the ground. They're on top of me. I'm on the ground on my stomach. They're holding me. They're cutting off all my hair. I'm like biting them and like cussing at them and like kicking them. And they were joking later that we should just put a little bit in an envelope and send it to her dad and her mom. And
Speaking of your dad, he's sitting right next to you now.
The first thing I noticed when I finally went to visit her, surprise her in the middle of the desert, was she hadn't bathed in 90 days. So she stunk really, really bad.
Yeah.
And then when I saw where they wanted them to bathe, in cow troughs with dead animals floating in them, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I couldn't believe it.
Are you paying for this, Dad?
Yeah, a lot of money, a lot of money. And she threatened to leave, and walk off. And where the hell is she gonna go? She's in the middle of the desert.
Now, when you hear all these stories now about her recovery, you can laugh with her?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I was prescribed an antidepressant, and I was living in a sober house. And what I was told is, this.
Wait. You're living in a sober house, but you were prescribed an antidepressant.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a sober house, then, would it?
No, no. I went to a lot of I went to a lot of places like that.
But the last place she went to was a place that was not run, and no offense to educated, degreed, diplomaed, psychologists, psychiatrists, treatment center personnel, but it was the last place that she went to that I truly believe is what did it for her, and it was run by drug addicts.
I needed someone to kick my ass, really, and tell me that I'm full of fear and that, I'm selfish and I'm all self-centered.
I'll never forget, you called me that day. You were with Max in the parking lot of the place in New Hampshire. She was crying hysterically, and she knew that this was it. She knew that this was it. But as soon as she walked in there, she was a mirror of the of the staff there. They knew who she was. They knew where she'd been because they'd been there.
What advice would you give somebody at 14 now?
They have a choice. They have a choice to stop suffering, to stop getting high. They have a choice to feel okay and to live like a happy, sober life.
You don't have to make the choices you're making. You're not alone. You're not special. Everybody deals with issues. Everybody has problems, but not everybody has to get high over it, you know? And so if you can come out of your shell and realize to accept yourself and learn to love yourself, you don't have to be so afraid of other people finding out who you are. You don't have a reason to drink and use drugs to cover all that up.
The laughter now is easy because we can look back. And I told my wife years ago, I said, there's going to come a time in our lives, you may not believe this now, but I truly believe that our daughter will be further down the road, know who she is, you know, have the inner strength and the self-confidence and the self-esteem much greater than her siblings because of her story and the path that she's gone.
I've got to accept something before I can like move on from it. And you know, I live a pretty simple life. And I never thought that I would ever, you know, live like that. Live like the way that I do now.
She knows who she is. That's the biggest thing. So the relationship that we have has grown to a new level. A really cool level.
What causes you guys right now to not go out and do it again?
I don't want to die.
Things are so much better now, and I don't have to do it. You know, I'm not caught in that fog where I just react. I can respond to life now.
If humor and laughter wasn't as big as it is in my life, I wouldn't be here right now.
Where would you be?
I'd be getting high. I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't even like want to talk to me. I would be so serious. I would be so, I would have no personality. I wouldn't know who and I didn't know who I was, and I do now.
It's okay to feel. It's okay to be insecure. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be yourself and to trust to let people love you and to love yourself.
I'm continuing to figure out who I am, and it's beautiful, and it's pretty funny.
I have to accept my emotions. I have to accept myself before I can go forward. I have to deal with it. How many times have you watched any of these other classes, not just on addiction, but the other classes, you have to accept the emotion, you have to deal with it. Once you deal with it, accept the emotion, know who you are, then you can laugh at it. You can find the humor in it. And when you do it together with other people, it creates such a wonderful camaraderie that you're not isolated anymore, which you're talking about. You're not alone. You don't have to be fearful anymore because we've all been through this. But they've all done one thing. They all made the choice to change. And I just want you to know, that's why I put the whole water theme in there, with the waterfall and the streams and that. And sometimes we do get involved and jump in the wrong stream and go over waterfalls and whatever metaphor you want to put it in, that's why I put in there. And we rush and we can't get out. Sometimes we got to get off to the side, you know, get off, dry off, and go. And I didn't mean that dry off as far as dry out drinking, but I mean just dry off, just rinse it off, get it off, and find a new path and make the choice. We have to make the choice to do it. And all these people showed you how to do that. And it's tough. It's tough to go through this stuff. It's not easy. I know. And that's what the next class is about, is I'm going to keep my promise to you and reveal what I've learned and what I know about addiction at the next class. I look forward to seeing you there. You hear my voice crack? It's tough stuff we go through, folks. It's tough stuff, but when you're honest with yourself and you deal with it, you can get off of that waterfall and get to smoother water. That's my metaphor for the day. Laugh at yourself, because when you laugh at yourself, you heal yourself. See you at the next class.